Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode here on African Confessions. The following story that you're going to be listening to, it was sent to me by one of our admins, and the message reads like this. Good morning, Brother Nashi. I hope that you had a great weekend. Please keep me as anonymous. So, we come from a family of 5 girls. I was the youngest of the girls, and growing up, we were a close unit with my sisters, gossiping and sharing almost anything from books to whatever. It was said that mother and father had tried for a boy and were not fruitful and had accepted their fate. We grew up a normal life, and I would say that in terms of resources, we were fair, not too poor, neither were we too rich. So those men who flaunted their wealth did not impress me at all, because father had tried to provide us with all that we needed in life. As for my big sister, Lynn, got married. Yes, she got married. And when she got married, father was really happy that she had made him to be very proud, and the traditional ceremony of tying the two families together was done. Our Sibare brother-in-law was a cheerful somebody, and father and mother treated him like the son that they never had. It was a perfectly blended family. So this brother-in-law of ours, Sibare, and my sister Lynn started their married life very well. In fact, Sibare treated her very well, and she did not lack anything, as my brother-in-law went over and beyond to make sure that she was nothing but a happy woman. So Sibare would come now and then to see us, jokingly calling us his wife. So it all came as a shock that my second sister, Lydia, eloped, and he was now staying with Sibare. Just what was happening? Had Lydia and Sibare had an affair? If so, when? Lydia eloping to Sibare had caused big fights in the family. Firstly, Lynn and Lydia exchanged heavy words, not to mention mother and father too. Luckily, none of the fights turned out to be physical. They were just verbal fights. Mother was mainly worried about what the neighbors and the churchmates would say if they ever got wind that Lydia had eloped to Sibare. What made the situation worse was that Lydia had been the apple of our father's eye. She was so bright in school, and father was very proud of her, saying that she will go to places if she decided to further her education. What was more puzzling in the whole situation was that when Lydia eloped to Sibare, she was not pregnant. Father had even convinced her to come back home, but she would have none of it. When you tell her to come back home, she would actually insult you. I was sure that Lydia and Sibare never had an affair, for we never kept secrets in between us. We were thick as thieves. Our homestead was even labeled the Girls' High. Lina was the quietest at the Girls' High compound. She kept to herself and was known for minding her own business, never getting into fights or squabbles with anyone. Lina had been engaged to be married to this guy whom I will call Charles. Theirs was a well-known relationship in the area. Even Mom, who was against the relationship initially that was there between Lina and Charles, was now warming up to Charles. Charles had sent his uncles to our homestead, the Girls' High. A date had been set for the dowry negotiations. The day arrived, and even Sibare had been present at the lobola negotiations. The negotiations went very smoothly, and my parents were overjoyed. They were filled with joy. We were also happy for Lina. She had done well for herself. The Charleses had said they will be back after a month to collect their bride, and the aunties, fathers and sisters had prepped Lina for a role as Makoti, the bride, 2 days before Charles's family came to collect their bride. Lina all of a sudden ran away from home. We were worried sick as to what had happened to her. Lina and Charles' marriage had not yet been consummated, so why had Lina ran away? Mother spent a whole week not setting foot outside the hut. I understood her actions very well, for what Laina had done was nothing but a disgrace. She had disgraced my father, the whole family. She had humiliated the whole family by her actions. But the biggest question was, why had Laina gone through the traditional ceremony when she was not even sure about Charles? Why had she let our father squander all the money that he had been given when the Lobola negotiations were taking place? But what even shook us badly was that Laina had ran away from home, ran away to her impending marriage to Charles to elope with Sivari. So it was 3 sisters, Lynn, Lydia, Laina, all married to one man. He now had 3 wives. Just what was happening? This cannot be normal at all. It did not make any sense to me, neither did it make any sense to father and mother. Was Sivari practicing juju on my sisters? If it was juju, it meant that all 5 of us will be married to one man. 5 biological sisters who shared the same blood. If Sivari was indeed practicing some dark magic on us, it meant that I was also in line to become his wife when I would come of age. Sivari was summoned by my parents to explain what was happening with him and my sisters. Sivari openly declined the allegations. He refused. He said that all these allegations, they are just false. I am not a witch and I do not practice any dark magic. Any allegations that was leveled against him, saying that he himself did not even know what was happening either. He said that it was just a matter of falling in love over and over again. Laina and Lydia have birth to children who were 3 weeks apart. Mother and father had sent me to Sivari's compound to help my sisters with the newborns, as well as doing the chores in and around the house. I had gone to the fields to harvest sweet potatoes and was singing on top of my voice. I enjoyed looking after the newborns, staring at their cute little faces and playing with their little feet. As I was digging, the pig caught something under the ground. What was it? Was it a big stone? No, but it was too soft to be a stone. The pig came up with a calabash. Just what was in that calabash? I ran back to the compound and I was breathing heavily, and Lydia, Lynn and Laina came out of their respective huts. I explained to them that I had seen a calabash that was in the middle of the fields, which had all sort of strange things in it. Laina was the one who overturned the calabash. It had various things in it, and on a paper there were our names written on it, all 5 of us. The paper was tied with strings and sprinkled with some powdery stuff that I was not even sure of. It seemed that Sivari had practiced some juju on my sisters. My name was even on the list together with Lindsay. All of us, we were supposed to be his wife. Just with what had happened, what had Sivari done, 1 sister had not been enough for him. 2 sisters had not been enough. He wanted to have 5 biological sisters, all to himself. It was quite diabolical. Had it been that Lynn and Laina had agreed to marry him, it would have made sense to me. But my sisters had been hypnotized. They had been under a dark spell, under black magic. The incident was reported to the village head, and a date had been set for his hearing. Mother and father were also present at the hearing, and community members were also present. Some community members had long suspected that our Sivari had bewitched my sisters. It seemed that my sisters had been under a hypnosis, for as soon as the calabash was turned, my sisters had started seeing the light. All 3 of my sisters left the marriage. Sivari had a heart attack after the discovery of the calabash. All 3 of them moved on with their lives. Life is now back to normal. So what we heard was that when Sivari went to this witch doctor, he was then given this calabash, and this calabash, it was tied to his heart. We were not supposed to witness the thing that we saw, but this is what God did. When God wants to reveal all those things that have been done in the dark, for sure God is going to reveal them. And I am so happy that God rescued me before Sibare had used his charms on me, because I was next in line. Yeah, dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to me by one of our admins. It was sent to us by our dear sister there. Strange things do happen in this world.